Train the muscles, not the joints. So recently I just had somebody ask me, what's the best diet for fat loss? Should they do the moderate protein, but the low carb, moderate or high fat diet? Or should they do the protein, high carb or moderate carb and low fat diet? Now, the thing is there's no right answer to this. I've used both diets and I still do to this day. Sometimes I'll do the higher carb protein diet, like I have protein and carbs every meal 5 times a day, and I feel very energetic in the gym, very good doing that. And then I will rotate into another type of diet, which is the moderate fat and protein, and then I'll lower the starches down. And the reason why I do this is because the higher fat and higher protein and low starch diet will help me reset my blood sugar so that when I do eat the carbohydrates and the protein, my body has a tendency to be able to absorb them better and use them better. And at the same time, my blood sugar got reset, so now I'm able to absorb, like my insulin in my body is working better to absorb those carbohydrates and give me a better pump. So I decided to do this just because I do notice also you have a tendency to get bored of just eating one way all the time. It's neat to be able to switch from one diet to the next because, like I said before, there are deficiencies that can happen when you just eat one type of food or just a certain type of macronutrients for an extended period of time. So I find that this is a good way to hedge my bets. So sometimes I change my diet up just to help not only reset the blood sugar, but also to get different nutrients into my diet. And of course, some vitamins and minerals are fat soluble as opposed to water soluble, so it's good to also have a higher fat type diet for a bit in order to absorb different nutrients as well, okay? So that's generally what I do. And to answer any question about which one is better, I think one thing for you to consider is your own personal body type, like I've talked about before. And what I mean by this is that there are certain foods that your body might be sensitive to, and you'll notice this, like some signs that your body is sensitive to the food is that your blood sugar immediately goes up and down, like it drops really fast, and you get sleepy right after you eat. Another one is you might have trouble digesting the food, where you get a lot of gas or bloating. And when you go to train and stuff like that, you're burping forever. You're trying to kind of get the food through your system, but it just doesn't seem to want to go through. Another sign could be that you get itchy. You know, all of a sudden you just get randomly itchy in different areas of the body because the food's just not agreeing with you. Your body's trying to, it's almost like having a reaction to it, right? So as a general rule, if I was gonna pick between both diets, I would say which diet or macro profile has the most amount of foods in it that you're sensitive to. And if you don't know and you don't know how to find out if you're sensitive to foods, go visit a naturopath. They can do like a test, basically. They can do a test where they run electrical current through you, or they can do an energetic test or a blood test to find out which foods don't agree with your blood type and your body type. And that will help you decide which type of nutrition program you should use as a general lifestyle choice in your training and diet. So say you decide to do the protein and carb diet, right? That's mainly what you're taking in. You're just taking a tiny little bit of fat, but mostly it's carbs and protein. If you find that you are reacting to starch, you're bloated, and you're always tired, and your blood sugar is not stabilizing, I would say that diet probably won't help you lose body fat as fast as maybe a moderate fat, lower carb type profile diet and the same level of protein, okay? Because whatever's gonna stabilize your blood sugar the best, that usually is a good sign that that diet is gonna help you lose body fat and put on muscle over the long term. So when I first started this cut, in November last year, okay, I started cutting, okay? What I decided to do was cut out all my starches and simple carbs out of my diet and just have fat and protein. Now, the reason why I decided to do this was because I was able to get in more protein into my diet doing this. My blood sugar was more stable, and I noticed that a lot of the foods that I like to cheat with were straight sugar, like Skittles or candy type stuff or rice cakes. And I was having a tendency to eat these things by themselves without protein, and I was noticing that I was putting on some body fat from it. And the way that I could make massive gains in losing body fat was to cut out those junk food type foods and basically start concentrating more on the protein every meal and then a little bit of energy food. And the fastest and easiest way for me to do this without cheating on my diet was to add the fats from avocado and nuts and meat, and then lean meat as well, lean protein and some green vegetables, right? So that's what I started to do. So immediately after 2 or 3 weeks of doing that, my body changed because my blood sugar was more stable. And that's really what's most important. I really feel that when you have a stable blood sugar, it really helps you put on more muscle, it helps you recover better, and it helps you have more energy for your workouts, right? So that was me, that's what I did there. Now, since then, I started introducing carbs again, and now my body is totally reacting differently to the carbs in a good way. Man, I make this tank top look good. Oh, what's that? I make this tank top look good. It looked like shit on anybody else, but hey, the camera's running. I have to say this kind of stuff. When the camera's running, I gotta talk like this. I'm the coolest, man. I'm the coolest. Angry pump. Angry pump. Angry pump. Yeah. I'm noticing a better pump in the gym. I'm noticing my recovery's better. I'm noticing that I'm putting on muscle. Now, I think the reason why this is happening is because I help reset my blood sugar from having higher fat and higher protein for a period of time. So now when I'm having carbs, I'm pulling carbs, and now my insulin that is being secreted by my own body is more able to do its job. Where if you eat a lot of sugar and stuff for a period of time, you become mildly diabetic in some way. You start to not be able to pull the sugar and the glycogen out of the bloodstream into the muscle because your insulin is no longer working with the same capacity because your body's become insensitive to it. So sometimes by changing your diets around, by going to high fat, high protein or high carb, high protein, and going back and forth, you may get the best of both worlds. So I don't think that there is one answer of which one is the best. But I do think that your body will have a tendency to lean to one or the other depending on your genetics, your blood type, and where your food sensitivities are. So yeah, I hope this helps clear up some misunderstandings around what the best diet is anyway. Thanks a lot for watching. If you need to get a hold of me, just go to naturallandbodybuilding.com and take care for now.